Somebody, however, who needs talking about in a lot more detail is Jarell Quansah. Now, we touched on his performance in the IMR momentarily. And one of the most pleasing aspects, I guess, about Jarell Quansah, and he's done this a couple of times already in his very, relatively short Liverpool career to date, is the way he handles himself after mistakes. Yeah. And I'm not going to sit here and say tonight's error was a glaring one. He should do better. He'll be disappointed by the fact that, albeit a banging form, Ollie Watkins gets around him a little bit too easily, and that obviously leads to the equalising goal to make it 1-1. But Jarell Quansah, the consummate, most experienced professional that he is, of course, just goes, I can deal with that, no problem.
Shrugs it off.
And his performance thereafter, he never put a foot wrong. He was faultless, as you said a moment ago, just outstanding, and thrown into the bargain as well, a boss header.
Yeah, it's a belter of a head, absolutely glorious. Deserves to be watched over and over and again. And if we'd have won the game, that might be. But unfortunately, it'll just go in with other goals that you never really ever see again and stuff. But the thing with Jarell Quansah for me, and me and Paul were talking about this on the watch along, is it's the hardest place to come in as a young player playing centre back, because a mistake that you make normally ends up in a goal. Yeah. And if you're a right winger and you make a mistake, it doesn't. You can be a young player playing on the right wing or centre forward and not have these things come back and bite you on the arse in the same way that it does at centre half. He's the second youngest player on the pitch again tonight. Harvey Elliott's just slightly younger than him, isn't he? And he's probably the least experienced player on the pitch. Like, I've seen Dejan Lovren, his head used to drop when he made a mistake and he'd be out the game. I've seen it happen to Joe Gomez, not this season, but I've seen it
that was his worst trait for a while, wasn't it?
It was. I've seen it happen to some of the most experienced players that have ever played for Liverpool, that once they've made a mistake, they go to shit. But it doesn't seem to happen with Jarell Quansah. He just uses it as a learning curve, and that's what this season is for Jarell. It's about, you've got to make mistakes at centre-half. No centre-back comes in and doesn't make mistakes. You've got to, and you've got to use those mistakes to make you better. And once again today, Jarell Quansah uses the mistake that he's made and goes sound. He wins more tackles on the day than any other player, by the way. He wins 3 tackles on the day. Some of his stats here I've got in front of me, right?
They're brilliant as well.
They're absolutely superb, mate. When you look at it, he's got, in his defensive stuff, he wins 3 tackles of 3. 4 blocks, 4 clearances, 2 of which are headed clearances, 2 interceptions, 4 recoveries, was only dribbled past once. Yeah. We know that it ended up in a goal and stuff, but he makes that goal back by scoring himself for me. So his defensive stats are 4 blocks, 4 clearances, 2 headed clearances, 2 interceptions, 4 recoveries. Wins 3 of his 5 ground duels, 2 of his 3 headers. I mean, he was a stalwart at the back for us, and his performance belays his young years. Yeah, outstanding. It really does.
Absolutely outstanding once again. As we've said there, the way he responds to his little error is just incredible, and it's testament to the character that he is. Take it a step further in terms of his numbers, actually. You mentioned all the defensive ones there, which are brilliant, but 3 successful long balls and the 92% passing accuracy as well, which is, really, really, because obviously in the modern day, you need to be more than a defender if you're going to be, certainly inside like Liverpool, you need to use the ball well. It's something we've heralded Virgil Van Dijk for being able to do, and Jarell Quansah.
Virgil's passing accuracy on the day is 95%. He's got the best on the pitch. It wouldn't shock me if Jarell Quansah was second best on the pitch with 92. Yeah. You do need your centre-halves to have that sort of high passing accuracy, obviously, in the modern game. But when you throw 3 long balls and he's completed them all, like you've just said there, that's a measure of his passing, more than the short passing to the other centre-halves. It's what did he do when they're kicking the ball 30, 40 yards, and he's clearly good at that as well.
Absolutely. At the minute then, let's sort of round off the conversation on him a little bit, away from just tonight's performance. At the minute, it does feel as though, obviously he's been dropped into the side at certain times over the season. Often has been injury related, the reason he has been given his opportunities, but he's grabbed them with both hands. There's no two ways about that. However, right now, it feels as though, and I think Jurgen Klopp alluded to pretty much this in his pre-match press conference, because he said that Jarell's training excellently. He went on to say that Konate was also training well, but he did put Quansah ahead of him in that particular sentence. It feels like Quansah's got the shirt a little bit.
It does, and it's a meritocracy at times, isn't it? And you can't be changing your centre-backs every single week. It never really ends well when that happens. They need to form a partnership, centre-halves. I think every football fan knows that. And right now, Jarell's playing well, but the concern is we haven't had a clean sheet in 10 games. It's not always down to just the centre-halves. It is down to the full-backs and the rest of the units ahead of the midfield and strikers, of course. But he's putting in good performances week in, week out. And, you know, he's durable as well by the looks of things. More durable, certainly, than Konate has been so far this season. You know, he's winning those balls in the air. He's good at passing. He's good at tackling. You know, he's coming up against new players every single week as well, which is difficult. Normally, when you come up against like a new striker or a tricky winger, you don't really know how they're going to play yet. But he's been the focus as well. Yeah. Like, people are obviously attacking Jarell Quansah more.
Side, like, yeah, of course.
But he's standing up to it really well. And once Ollie Watkins got past him, he didn't get past him again. No. In fact, if anything, I would say Jarell Quansah wins the battle from then on in. And that's brilliant, because this is is he third highest scorer in the league, Ollie Watkins?
He's there or thereabouts.
Yeah. Is Cole Palmer second?
Yeah, I think Cole Palmer's recent surge and one from Erling Haaland as well has made it probably his third, but Ollie Watkins has been knocking on that door also. This is a red hot Ollie Watkins. So the fact that Jarell Quansah has been beaten by him once is, you know, fine. Yeah, it's not a shock.
The best centre-halves in the league will get beaten by a striker or a winger.
Certainly one playing the way Ollie Watkins is right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's no mean feat, as you say, that he's able to bounce back and respond in the manner that he did. And it's been a meteoric rise for Jarell Quansah this season. He started the season, obviously, under 21s and wasn't really considered as part of the first team plans, I think it's fair to say. But he's got one more game to play, potentially the weekend as well. 32 first team appearances. That was his second goal, of course, tonight. And he's got 3 assists as well, thrown into the bargain. So
first Prem goal.
First Premiership goal as well. Yeah, absolutely incredible rise, and he deserves all the plaudits for the season that he's had. Tom Little named him man of the match tonight, as did Abe in the Discord chat as well. For what it's worth, number
8.5.
Yeah, that's solid. Yeah, and that is a phenomenal rating, given that there was, and I keep bringing it up, and I do apologise, that little ever that ends up costing us a goal. To rate that highly and for us to sing his praises that strongly after that is testament to how good he was.
Yeah,
it speaks volumes.
That's it. And listen, there's been better opportunities given away by Liverpool defenders over the course of this season than just a banging form striker running round. Yeah, there's still a lot of work to be done. Yeah. The goal, what he's done there, not letting him inside, he's gone round the outside, he's got to the byline. The midfield should sort the rest out.
Yeah, the fact that Youri Tielemans is relatively unmarked and fire home.
That's more of an issue for me than a fella beating another fella.
Reminiscent of Eze's goal a little bit for Palace the other week, isn't it? It's not too dissimilar to that. Jarell Quansah, boss. Congratulations again